but the old guys of Appalachia is like fucking creepy as hell, and I love it.
Okay.
Oh, we've been going for about 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So we could probably start. Yeah.
So, Eric.
Yes. Ian, yes.
Let's pretend that you're God.
Okay, that's very high.
And so now
I'm not.
You've done. You've done like all the the people are made now, and I made narwhals, and stuff like that. So now you're like
frisky,
and
making
so
narwhals.
You're like, okay, I want to do some really spooky stuff. I'm going to design the cryptids.
Yes.
So what is your ideal cryptid design?
That's really I've actually never thought about that.
Like, if you were going to build a cryptid,
if I was going to mad scientist build Dr. Frankenstein build a cryptid. I'll start with what I know I like. I have always loved how, when people talk about Chupacabra, and instead of it being like a dog-ish thing, because you get there's two sides. There's the one side that's like, oh, it's like a dog-ish thing. I always love the Chupacabra where it looks completely alien
with the spikes and like in Dexter's Lab.
100%. Oh my god, I forgot there was a Chupacabra episode of Dexter's Lab. Shit. But yeah, with the spines all down the back and the big gray alien looking fucking eyes and just definitely more monstrous than hidden. So the spines of a Chupacabra and I would make it tall because I feel like tall things are incredibly imposing. And I would give it a wingspan. It would be able to fly. So let's ideally a combination of basically Man-Bat from the Batman comics. That would be,
but with a bunch of piercings down his back.
But with a bunch of or organic spikes down his back. Yeah. Something like that would be my mad scientist-ish cryptid.
I think I would want to do my personal cryptid preference is kind of the weirder stuff, but if I was going to design a cryptid, I would want to do something like a horse, just slightly shorter than the average horse.
Horses are terrifying.
And maybe if you look at it's the hooves, the underside of the hooves, there's fingers, human fingers.
Oh.
But it's stuff you're oh, that's a slightly weird looking horse, but you don't and it just sticks in the back of your brain.
Yeah.
And maybe it has goat eyes.
Yeah, it's not. That's that's not a horse. Yeah.
What kind of eyes do horses have?
I'll be honest, horses terrify me.
They should. Well, they're big, and that's why I want a horse that's just slightly smaller to make you feel it's more welcoming. But
so a miniature horse, but it still throws you off because it's the size of a miniature horse.
No, it's just take your average big draft horse.
Okay.
But then make the average an inch shorter.
Okay.
It's just you're that's a horse. That horse is.
It's
disconcerting.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
That's what that's my cryptid.
Okay, so I love how both of ours are different. Yours is a very makes you think super just the more you think about it, it's unsettling, and the more you look at it, and the more things you find as you look at it is unsettling. Mine's a heavy metal album cover.
I am aiming for the uncanny valley of horses.
And I'm just aiming for the straight up Pumpkinhead style. That's a fucking monster.
Your Iron Maiden cryptid.
Yeah, that is a monster. But hey, everybody, welcome to the first episode of Our Haunted Backyard.
Yes, that was my attempt at a very professional cold open.
I liked it. Actually really like it. I'm a big fan of cold opens. Makes them feel more.
Take a drink
as we each take a drink of shit. But yeah, welcome. Cool. Welcome to our first episode.
Yes, this is Our Haunted Backyard.
Yes,
the podcast where we have a tagline.
And what is that tagline, Ian? I love it.
It is the podcast where we talk about country road cryptids, small town spooky, and other local legends.
Yeah. And this legend, the local legend that we're talking about today, is actually incredibly local for the both of us.
Yeah.
Because we are from Ohio, and we currently live in Ohio. And we today are talking about Ohio's probably, I'm going to say, most famous cryptid. It's the only one I hear, even if you're not into cryptids, you know this guy. It's the Loveland Frogman is who we're talking about today.
Yes. Loveland is a town.
Yes.
In southwestern.
Yeah, kind of near-ish Cincinnati, Ohio. We're recording this in Dayton. It's Loveland's kind of near-ish. Since I think it is farther south than Dayton. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I don't think I've ever been to Loveland.
I actually have never been. I probably have driven through it. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I have living here as long as I have. I probably have driven through it.
We should in the next week go down to the bridge. And
ooh, that would be neat.
Do pictures.
That would be neat. Because there are, unlike a lot, because with the Frogman, unlike the superstars of the cryptid world, Bigfoot, Mothman, Chupacabra, as we mentioned earlier in the episode at that cold open, there are not a lot of pictures of this guy. There's more artist renderings than anything.
Yeah, and I've got one that I want to bring up. So, dear listeners, as you might expect, yes. the Frogman looks... It's a frog.
It's a frog-sized man. It's a frog-sized man. It's a man-sized frog.
Really, really tiny human.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's super tiny. No, he's a man-sized frog, and
I would say short man.
Short man.
Yeah, this one graphic that we have, which we'll put up with the episode.
Yeah, we'll put up on our Instagram.
Has a very friendly, waving human silhouette.
For size scale. There's a size scale, and then there's this very, if anyone's ever seen The Wind in the Willows of Mr. Toad.
Yeah.
Very Mr. Toad-ish looking guy.
And then they've got the actual picture, the rendition, the rendering of the Frogman.
Yeah.
Who's packing some cake.
Yeah, he's got a butt. He does have a butt.
He's got that badonk.
Yeah.
And also because he's shadowed, he's just been caught in the lights of the headlights of the car.
Yes, yeah.
But then the first time I saw this picture, I didn't think the shadow that's on the guardrail, I thought that was someone else who also had a lot of cake.
Yeah, oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
And
yeah,
the Frogman was in a loving embrace with this person.
Yeah, this does not, the shadow does not, if the art majors, I mean, you look at this, the art students, or even if you are even artist, you look at this picture, that shadow does not correlate with how this frog is standing in the picture, because one of them, he has the shadow that Ian thought was the other person. One of the legs is not bent on the shadow, but there is a bent leg on the Frogman actually, and so it doesn't even depict that in the shadow.
It's a very weird picture.
The funniest thing,
it gives you the vibes that the Loveland Frogman, he's a gentle guy. He's a lover. He wants to cuddle. He might take you out for a nice Italian dinner.
He might. With flies for an appetizer. That's an obvious joke. Is obvious. That picture was when Ian and I first started wanting to do this podcast. That is the picture that he sent me when we were like, oh man, I kind of we got to talk about Frogman. And that's the first picture he sent me. And when he sent me that, I thought that maybe that was just some meme picture. No, that is one of the most pictures in a lot of articles that you will find. It's an artist rendering. It is one of the most artist rendering pictures. This thing that'll show up in YouTube videos, that'll show up in articles.
Yeah, it's
everywhere.
I feel like it's a very classic picture. I found another one.
Oh, I like that one a lot, actually.
He looks like if Hulk Hogan was a frog.
He looks like a Battletoad.
Yeah,
he looks like a Battletoad.
He's like, brother.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this fury?
He looks like the video game Battletoads, which, fuck yeah, Zit from Battletoads. I'm getting real deep. Why do I know all the Battletoads names?
Because you're a nerd.
Yeah.
That's why we love you. Okay, Eric.
Yes,
You
Ian.
did most of the research for this episode.
Yes.
So tell me some stories about the Frogman.
The thing that I told that I regret, I actually am saddened about, is there isn't, for as much fun as we are obviously having, there is not a lot on this guy. Like there are only unfortunately 3 sightings, and I can get the first one I can get into right now, which was in May of 1955.
Or
Yeah.
there's only been 3 survivors.
Oh shit. Yeah, yeah, you're right, because
These are the people who live to tell the tale.
yeah, you're right. I
There
didn't even
could
think
be
about
more.
that. I didn't even think about that. God, could you imagine just like frogmen murdering people?
If you have a relative who's been murdered by the Frogman,
You may be
you may be eligible for restitution.
you may be entitled to compensation.
Help us sue the Frogman.
Called Dyer Garofalo, Main and Schultz. That is a Ohio reference. Or get the tiger on your side. That is another Ohio reference. I drive by that building every fucking day.
It's
It is
that and Hell is Real are like
Yeah.
the two, and then Touchdown Jesus, who's no longer here.
which may he rest in peace.
He's another cryptid.
Yeah, he was another cryptid. But the Frogman, the first sighting of him was in May of 1955.
Peak frog years.
Peak frog years. And it was over as this article describes in the Portalist.com, a poorly lit bridge over the Little Miami River.
Mm-hmm.
And this businessman, we don't know his name, that doesn't get and all the other things I came across. It's a salesman or traveling businessman.
Mm-hmm.
No name given of this person. But he was driving and he noticed not 1, not 2, but 3 frog people talking amongst themselves on this bridge.
Does it say talking amongst themselves?
It's in the article. It says it says the salesman watched as 3 frog people talk amongst themselves.
What were they talking about?
So, in 1955, what were frogmen talking about?
Was it like they're like tax advice? Like
They were, oh man, I hate it.
remember to get all your deductibles, Rabbit.
They said that is ice from my glass, so I apologize. They all seemed and let's see, where'd it go? I lost it. Yeah, they talking amongst themselves to their observer, and the salesman noted that they seemed to be 3.5 feet tall, so not very tall, not very tall people, not very tall frog people, with leathery skin and bulging eyes and wide mouths on the side of their head. And he goes into there's more of a description of them, like basically just think frog, like very tall, big frogs.
So like, yeah, that's from that description. It seems like I would call that a frog-like being.
Yeah,
but
not a
necessarily
man.
just a big frog. On its hind legs.
Yeah, because when you first think of it, you think of the Battletoads. You think of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle sized frogs. Mm-hmm. But no, these were 3 feet. Apparently, yeah, like 3 feet tall, approximately 3.5 feet. The funniest thing though, with a lot of these, with this report in particular, is it's the only report that had more than one frogman. Cited. It had 3 of them. Frog people. And in this report, it's not in this article, but in other articles I've read, and a couple videos on the subject that I watched, apparently one of them had what everyone was saying, a wand. Apparently one of the frogmen raised a wand over its head. It was a stick. So either it's a wand, or we can go with that they are intelligent enough to use tools. But then, thinking like, oh, maybe it's just like a stick, they're using tools. But then the report will go on to say that the salesman saw sparks fly out of the wand from one of the frogmen.
I've not heard that before. I'm trying to process what
It's right here. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's right here in the article. Suddenly, one of the figures noticed the salesman. They pulled out a wand and waved it, sending a spray of sparks flying in the air.
So what we're learning is that Harry Potter's real. It's just they're all frog people.
Yeah, it's just they're all frogs. And do you know what? You could go on a limb of this was a spell that went completely wrong, and they all these wizards and or witches and or warlocks accidentally turned themselves all into frogs, and then oops.
Or like it's 3 kids hanging out on the side of the road. And then one of them's like, let's scare this businessman. I've got I've got a sparkler.
Oh my. Yeah, they had sparklers in like the 50s, right?
I'm
they
sure.
had to have, right? I mean, they had guns that shot radiation.
Yeah.
That you could get. No, I'm sorry. It was they had a toy that was a gun that basically had magnesium that you as a propulsion system.
Everything back then was trying to kill you.
Yeah, like, and then there was a science kit that literally had radioactive material in it.
Because you couldn't have fun back when our parents were young unless you were at risk of dying.
Yeah, 100%. Like that's
or getting at least some like serious brain damage.
Some serious brain damage or getting impaled by a yard dart.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were a mistake. So that's the first sighting, and then in 1972 was the next sighting of the Frogman. So a whole 20 something years. A frog generation at 1 a.m. This is off my notes here and off the article from the portalist.com if anyone's interested. Link in the show notes, as all the professional podcasters say. At 1 a.m., a Loveland police officer, whose name we do know, Ray Shockley, drove on Riverside Drive near the Totes Boot Factory in at the Little Miami River. Excuse me. The creature dashed in front of his car, and its eyes glowed from the headlights of it, and it scared it away. And Shockley saw a creature similar to what the traveling salesman saw, a 3 or 4 foot tall figure with distinctly frog-like fixtures.
Okay.
The Frogman took advantage of Shockley's bewilderment.
This is turning into
and scrambled to the roadside and hopped the guardrail. And man, that guardrail is in every artist rendering of the Frogman. In the one that you showed us, and the one that you showed me at the very beginning, guardrail, and the other one that looked like a buff Hulk Hogan Battletoad. Still have the guardrail still on the road.
I feel like a lot of the renderings are from the Shockley's story, because partially I think because he's probably the most well-known
100%
story. And I'm just trying to imagine being a police officer in the 70s, and you just see this frog person and how you would react to that.
Yeah.
Do I arrest it?
Yeah.
Does it have drugs?
Do I charge him with... Do I arrest myself because I saw a Frogman? What was in that punch? The other sighting that doesn't have a lot of detail is at the very end, but I like this article's one of its talking points is the cryptid that Ohio deserves. and it's not wrong. I will it's not wrong. I feel like if Ohio was a cryptid.
Yeah, Frogman is very... Frogman, especially Southwest Ohio. Frogman is very Southwest Ohio.
100%. The latest sighting of Frogman did happen somewhat recently. We're in 2022 now. It happened in 2016.
Within living memory.
Yeah, so within living memory of a lot of people now. Not
that the 70s aren't within living memory.
Right, not that the 70s and 50s aren't within living memory, but this is close to home. especially because the most recent sighting of him was a couple teenagers in August 2016 who were on Madria Road, MADER.
I thought you were about to say maternity leave.
Maternity leave. A couple teenagers on maternity leave on Madria Road, MADERA Road.
So you can get on Google Maps.
Yeah.
And see if you can find the Frogman.
They were playing Pokemon Go on this road. Doesn't say what time they were playing it at.
What teams were they on?
Or that they were, if they whatever teams they were on, doesn't say. But one of them spotted across the train tracks a huge frog that staring at them. And from this, I think we get the only supposed photographic evidence of the Frogman.
Oh, I didn't know
there is a photo here. I can pull it up for you because it's one of the biggest. It's the first thing.
Are they sure it wasn't a Pokemon?
I probably not.
I don't. Were there any frog Pokemon?
There are
first generation.
Yeah, because in the first generation, no, because Greninja is in the more recent.
I don't know that much about Pokemon, but I was I at least somewhat know the first generation. And 2016, it was just first generation.
Yeah, 2016 they had just only put out the Kanto region again. Here, me being a nerd. But this that I'm showing Ian right, this is the supposed photographic evidence.
He looks like he's just he's been caught taking a bath.
Yeah, it's a blurry-ish photo. It's a blurry photo of a lake of the Little Miami River, which I assume to be the Little Miami River, with a very glowy, headlight glowing eyes.
Yeah, he's got some lamps in there.
Yeah, of a humanoid creature, glowy eyes of a humanoid creature in the water, standing up.
But something I want to point out is look at that torso. That's got that Hulk Hogan.
It does have pecs. There is divots here.
He's built.
Yeah,
that's a built frog boy.
I would hope so, because he would have to fucking jump everywhere.
What if he was also playing Pokemon Go?
Oh, dude. That would be the funniest.
He wanted to approach him
and be like,
there's some Eevees down there.
There's some Eevees down there. You guys want to trade? He owns a gym. If he was the winner of one of the gyms.
You go down to Loveland and there's one gym that's just in the middle of the river.
Yeah.
And you don't know and of course it's water type.
Yeah, of course.
And that's the Frogman's gym.
Yeah, that's the Frogman's gym.
Go challenge the Frogman and then
sue
him.
Yes.
If he killed one of your family members.
Ohio's more famous, as we've during research for this show, we've noticed Ohio's more famous and has way more actively haunted ghost supernatural-ish stuff.
We're much more of a ghost state.
Yeah, we are much more of a ghost state than we are a monster cryptid state. There are probably other creatures that during our research for the show that we might come across.
Yeah, I know we have a Bigfoot.
Yeah, we do have a Bigfoot.
They call him the Grass Man.
Yeah, the Grass Man.
Considering he lives out east during Athens County,
which I feel is just Willie Nelson.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say I spent a couple of years in Athens, and I was I met the Grass Man a couple of times.
I forget. Is Ashland near Yellow Springs?
Athens. It's a little further out.
Okay, because I was gonna say if it's really close to Yellow Springs, I think I found the Grass Man. I say that with love. I love Yellow Springs, but if you live in Ohio, it's a very hippie town.
There's also one. I want to say it's called the Pukwudgie or something like that.
Oh wow, that the South African little goblin thing.
Yeah, it's a porcupine man.
Huh.
That might be Ohio. I'm not. Don't quote me.
I'll have to look at that because I only know Pukwudgies from the South African little goblin people that are mischievous little things, and apparently they have a hole in their head, if I'm remembering right. Or I might be thinking of the Tokolosh as well, which is I think I think that might be Haitian.
Yeah, this one is it's like another it's that kind of that borders that line between cryptid and
spirit.
Well, yeah, and Native American.
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
Where it's like it's kind of like I don't really like it when people talk about skinwalkers.
Oh, or the skin boy. Yeah, like skinny, like skin boys.
Yeah,
it's apparently it's very dangerous to talk about them and
especially like if you're in those regions, but it's also one of those things where I'm like, that's not a cryptid.
No,
that's a very specific cultural.
So very cultural figure, like almost a spirit, and also even like a magic user. Like they from all the reports, they're like witches and warlocks that have just like completely said fuck everything.
I remember Pukwudgie is now well known because J.K. Rowling used it as one of the houses in the American Wizarding School.
I forgot about that. I think that's the house that I ended up being sorted in when I took the test. I
can't remember.
I think so.
All I can remember is racism.
J.K. Rowling's the turf.
Yeah. So anyways, that is our lovely little frogman.
That's the lovely little frogman.
I want to go see if we can find it. Like I am down to go play Pokemon Go and see if Frogman shows up. Yeah,
I would re-download Pokemon Go just to like kind of get in the spirit of when those kids like saw. I was like 2016. I know I was 26 at the time, but like I would get back into like the spirit of like finding them, like because with even just like the Frogman and the other cryptids that we will end up talking about. Like, it's just fun to know that Ohio has at least one, even if we also have the Grassman, which is kind of fun.
And and I'm sure we're gonna come across more. And if any of you have a cryptid story, that you want to tell us, send it to us on our social media platforms that are going to exist.
Yes, we're gonna have them. We're gonna have all the major ones. We're gonna have the Instagram, which is where we'll post like the pictures and the photos, the supposed photos of stuff. We'll have Twitter,
have a live journal.
We'll have a MySpace, which apparently still exists.
Friendster.
But yeah, we will definitely have a Instagram and a Twitter. It'll be at Our Haunted Backyard.
Yes, and we also actually do have an email address already.
Yes.
And that email address, it is our email address is hauntedbackyardcast@gmail.com.
Yeah. So if you have either on the email that he just mentioned or any of the socials, like you can message on any of those platforms. And if you do have like a cryptid encounter or a ghost encounter that you want to tell us about,
any kind of spooky thing,
if
you've seen a ghost, if you've seen an alien, if your house has demons, if you saw like just a weird looking dog, let us know.
And it's not limited to Ohio. Like this isn't just an Ohio. We're going like we're across the country, like not physically.
Worldwide tour.
Yeah.
I want to get to those Japanese cryptids someday.
Oh man, I know a lot about yokais.
Oh, we got a friend who lives out there.
Yeah, we do have a friend who lives out there.
We'll have to see if we can get Amelia.
I bought a whole fucking book on yokai when I was at Disney World in Epcot, Japan. Like I bought a whole book on yokai.
And I've got a friend who had a house so demonic that it stopped her atheism. So I'll see if I can get her on.
Whoa. Oh my God. I know it's just to ramble just a little bit on that. The scariest thing about about encounters like that, about encounters with the supernatural, about ghosts and encounters with like evil spirits and demons and shit like that. What I never hear is like, oh, I was a believer and now I'm not. No, you hear, oh, I was a straight up atheist. And now Yeah, no, there's shit that we don't understand. That's I think that is the scariest thing.
Yeah.
Like the fact that I hear more stories about atheists being turned into I'm not even just talking about Christian beliefs. I'm talking just about believing in the other side in general. You hear people from being like totally not spiritual, that shit's fake, unto, oh no, I had a crazy experience that I can't explain and now I believe. Like that's what you hear more often than anything. That's what scares the shit out of me.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think that's going to wrap it for our first episode.
Yes.
Thank you. If the sound is a little off, we are still building our tool set.
So we very much appreciate you for listening, because even if the audio is not the greatest, because it's going to get there.
We are working. It is a work in progress.
Yes. Come on this journey with us. Come on this journey with us.
Come hang out with some spooky cryptids.
Yeah.
Learn about the ghost in Athens that's just a buffalo.
That I also didn't know about. I can't wait to learn about that.
Yeah. There's some beautiful we're going to go on some beautiful journeys together.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. I have been Eric.
I have been Ian the Frogman. Snap.
Thanks for visiting the haunted backyard.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.